You're listening to the DreArea Sports Show, live on YouTube and X. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness.
All right, so we're talking about Brandon Aiyuk. He won't be ready for the beginning of the year. But one of the questions I posed was, should the Niners be interested in acquiring a veteran receiver for at least the start of the year? And one of the guys I'm thinking of is Amari Cooper. This guy is still a free agent. This is a guy that they nearly acquired last season in a trade with the Cleveland Browns when Brandon Aiyuk was trying to find his new contract. The guy is still a free agent. Do you think that this is a guy that the Niners should consider bringing in to add some veteran leadership to this young wide receiving core?
Yeah, I do. I think that they're going to need more depth at the wide receiver position this year. And when I think of Amari Cooper, I think about that play in Buffalo when he throws the ball. Did he throw the ball back to Josh Allen on the lateral or something? That was such
I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, if you could pull that play up, that play was ridiculous. It was like that play was indicative of our entire season when we were in the snow and we were just getting our asses handed to us, and it was like
they're just fucking around. Like, woo!
And they had that play down the sideline. No, Amari Cooper would be great. I think he would provide us not only veteran leadership, but that great. He's got speed still. It could give us a little bit of a deep threat, and he's experienced. And again, I feel like you mentioned just now, Dre, they actually should have pulled the trigger on that trade last year. Like in hindsight, I hate to say that because I like Brandon Aiyuk, but man, if they would have pulled the trigger on that trade, I think they would have probably made the playoffs last year.
It's possible, but I mean, the only way they could have pulled that trade off is if the Browns were going to offer him a new contract. There were a lot of things involved. Like if it was a straight up like, yeah, we're going to trade you, go. There were some factors involved, and that's why they couldn't get that done. But I think Amari Cooper is a solid option. He's a very solid option. And you look at his numbers last season between the Browns and the Buffalo Bills. He had 44 catches for 547 yards and 4 touchdowns. I would have taken that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Based on what we got last season. And so that's what my question was that how confident are you with Jauan Jennings, Cowing, Watkins going into Seattle week 1?
I'm not. And that's I think that's going to be one of our Achilles heels this year, is the fact that we don't have the depth at the wide receiver position that we've had in the past. We have. I will say that I love Jauan Jennings. I love me some third and Jauan, as Tim Ryan and Greg Papa like to say.
Absolutely.
He's a monster. He's a reliable guy, and I mean he had to get some confidence from last year. I mean, he was not only was he our best player in the Super Bowl the year before. If the Niners win the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, he wins Super Bowl MVP in that game, and it's crazy to think of that. And then he comes in last year and he has an amazing game in LA against the Rams, 3 touchdowns. And he was our best receiver last year. So that makes me feel a little bit better. The fact that he's coming in with newfound confidence, and I like the way he carries himself, but we need more. And, losing Deebo, it's going to be a little bit of a different offense for us now. We're not going to have that dual threat with the Deebo coming around the end arounds which sometimes I would get so frustrated with because I'm like, Jesus, we're going to kill this guy. Like he's like basically running into linebackers like 50 times a game, but he's just getting like like he was like a pinball, just getting pinballed around. And that's why he was always hurt. So I think we do need some help, and Amari Cooper would be a great fit. Now, my question to you would be is who else is out there? Because Amari Cooper is getting up there in age.
What's up, Papa J? Good to see you, buddy. And my buddy Johnny Dell dropped in as well. Salute to you as well. Happy Memorial Day. Well, it was on Monday.
And never say Happy Memorial Day. It's a Memorial Day. You're supposed to say it's more of an observance because
it's observance. Yes. Okay. So, thanks for making that awkward.
Well, come on, man.
Let's see who's out there for free agent wide receivers. Okay, so let me go ahead and look that up.
Not to put you on the spot, but
I know, really, it's like, come on, man. But no, I think that Amari Cooper would be a really good option. Here I have a list here. This is old. It shows T. Higgins that he's already signed.
Like 2022.
I mean, when you look at who's out there, right? You're talking about Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper.
He's too old.
Marquise Brown. I think it's Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood.
Jameson Crowder. Barf.
No.
Kevontae Turpin. He's really fast and really small. Nelson Aguilar never matured into the receiver.
Is he still with the Raiders? Nelson Aguilar?
He's a free agent. He's 32 years old at that. It's like, no, buddy, I'm sorry. Tutu Atwell. I would take Tutu Atwell. Tyler Boyd, Allen Robinson. Okay, Chris Conley. Okay, yeah.
Chris Conley, is he a free agent?
He's a free agent, yeah. I think that Chris Conley, he won't be back with us, I don't think. I think that Demarcus Robinson's going to kind of take his place, but
yeah, we do have Robinson.
We do have Robinson, so I think it's an option that the Niners should explore because they do need some help at wide receiver. You got a guy who's a really good route runner in Amari Cooper who could help you out and bridge that gap between when you get back Brandon Aiyuk. Turpin is underrated. I believe so. He's also very small, though, Papa J. Like, he's as big as I am. So if you just push him, he gets hurt. Like, oh!
He reminds me of Marquise Goodwin.
He's smaller than that,
Marquise
though.
Yeah,
I remember Marquise
Goodwin.
Yeah, he's a little guy.
I think he's right, though. I think Turpin is a little more underrated than you're saying. Like,
I think so.
The speed aspect and the deep threat.
Right. And we talk about how, we're worried about the receiving core, and I am. That's probably one of my biggest concerns is the depth at wide receiver. If Pearsall or Jennings goes down in week 1, we're in a huge hole right off the bat. Yes, we're thin in other areas, but wide receiver for some reason is the one that worries me the most. But when you look at what we're getting back a phenomenal player in Christian McCaffrey. Look at his numbers from 2023. He was first in rushing yards after contact, first in rushing yards before and after contact, my bad. 10 yards plus, 10-yard plus runs, 44. And the Rayo, you want to break that down?
The Rayo, what is that? Running yards, something? I don't know.
He was plus 350.
I don't even know what that is. That after contact rush yard? Oh, no, that's up there before and after contact. What is Rayo?
I don't know. I was hoping you knew what that meant. But still, sensational numbers.
He's first in it, whatever it is.
He's first in it. Receiving yards over extremities. But still.
He does get quite a few receiving yards also.
And so my point is that when you have this guy coming out of the backfield as a receiver, or lining up as a receiver out of the backfield. Now you have McCaffrey out there. Now you have George Kittle out there. You have Jennings, Pearsall, Cowing. So having McCaffrey back is going to be a huge improvement than what we saw last season. I was watching stats of McCaffrey in 2023. The Niners look like an entirely different team. Papa J writes, and we definitely have enough money at least to make 1-year deal with Amari. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But when you're getting this kind of production coming back to you this season, that is phenomenal. I mean, this is an MVP caliber player you got coming back to you this season that you didn't even have last season. You had him for 3 games, 4, and he was a shell of himself because he wasn't even in proper shape because he couldn't do anything with the micro tears.
He's coming back post injury. He's coming back, and also it's going to be a little bit, again, we don't know how it's going to look, but the offense may look a little bit different, minus Deebo Samuel, minus Jordan Mason, who went to Minnesota. So there's going to be, and again, Isaac Guerrero, we talked about him. I think he's going to have a great sophomore season, but we cannot, the one thing we cannot do is over lean on Christian McCaffrey, especially early in the season.
I agree with that, but here's my thing is that I really believe that this is going to be such a big factor for San Francisco that most people are underestimating what Christian McCaffrey is going to be able to do this upcoming season. When you hear everyone talk about Christian McCaffrey, all you ever hear about is, well, is he going to be healthy? Is he going to stay healthy? Is he going to stay healthy? Well, guess what? In 2023, he was practically healthy the entire season, and you look at his numbers right here, he absolutely dominated with virtually the same offensive line.
He did.
Virtually the same receiving core minus Deebo Samuel. So it's not like, oh, you're bringing him back, but you've lost all your offensive starters, or you have a whole new offensive line. That's going to take some time for him to get acclimated. No, it's virtually the same team. And because you're bringing back a lot of the same players, this is something that they should be able to replicate or get him close to this upcoming season. I'm telling you right now, Christian McCaffrey is going to come back with such a mean in him that he is going to dominate when he goes out there because this guy's a competitor. You think he wants to remember the season he had last season? Hell no. He wants to go out there and unleash fucking hell on the NFL.
And they weren't in the postseason last year. So, if you look at the year before, they had that long postseason run. He carried them in the 2 postseason games leading to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. He carried them against Green Bay. He carried them against the Lions in that comeback. So he not having to play that much last season and then not having that postseason run, like you said, yeah. I mean, I'm just always a little bit cautious when you're talking about a guy that's had this kind of an injury history. He had the injury history before he came to us when he was with Carolina also. This is not something new. This is not like we've never seen this before. It was the first time where we really saw it with our team, where he had to miss an extended period of time. So have him come in. Let's see how he looks in training camp. Let's see how he looks in the preseason. I'm sure they won't even play him in the preseason, but let's see how he looks. Let's see how he looks coming out of the gates. But don't rely on him to be, just because we don't have the receiving core that we've had in the past. Don't rely on him and overwork him to the point where we risk injury again. I'm not saying that he's going to get injured again. I'm saying that we need to just make sure, and Kyle will do this. Kyle always mixes and matches. If we end up having, if one of our rookie running backs is able to make the team, if we have Isaac Orindo, if we have Patrick Williams Jr., whoever it is that we end up having to spell McCaffrey during some of those.
Patrick Taylor.
Why do I keep calling him Patrick Williams?
Well, we used to have a Wilson as a running, Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, Jeff Wilson. Patrick Taylor Jr. These are guys that can help, that can support Christian McCaffrey so that he's not a one-man show. That's all I'm saying, man.
And not only that, I'm trying to find the stat. There was a post about it. I can't find it right now, but it showed 2 quarterbacks last season who had the lowest check down percentage in the NFL, and Brock Purdy was one of them.
Because he didn't have anybody to check it down to.
Because he didn't have this guy to check it down to. And so that makes a huge difference. I can guarantee you that number will go way up in terms of him using his checkdowns when you got a dynamic receiver running back in Christian McCaffrey. Now, my only concern with McCaffrey, obviously his workload is 1. 2 would be is that because our receiving core is quite thin, I could see them I can see him going out, lining up as a receiver and playing that role of like a Deebo Samuel or, whoever as a receiver out there, and then leaving an empty backfield for Brock Purdy because, he's going to fill in as that receiver now. So I can see them lining him up more as a receiver. But that could open doors for guys like Isaac Orindo at receiver, or even Jordan James coming out of the backfield as well. So I'm really excited to see that.
The DreArea Sports Show is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use promo code DreArea Sports to save $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. And we are also brought to you by Taryn Roy, the SEO Optimizer. If you're looking to boost your YouTube channel, then check out the SEO Optimizer. Use promo code DreArea Sports to start your free trial today. Power Brand Systems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or YouTube channel, then check out Power Brand Systems. Use promo code 300POWER to save up to $300 on your first purchase at Power Brand Systems.